As for Trump himself, National Review writes that its sources back up a report from the New York Times' own Maggie Haberman, who reported this week that Trump believes he'll be reinstated to office this summer after so-called audits of the 2020 elections in Arizona and Georgia are done. Just for starters, that's not possible. Remaining unique among former presidents, Donald Trump is about to go back out on the road for what we're calling the Big Lie Tour. What do you reckon is the percentage of Republicans who are truly psyched to see this? And what's it going to do if they ever care to launch an idea or a policy?
Well, it's not a small percentage of Republicans, I can tell you that. About 66% of Republicans have questions about the election, question whether Biden was legitimately elected. And I think what all this chatter about a reinstatement, that the president's allies are putting out there that he thinks he's going to be reinstated in August. Obviously, that's a fiction. There's no reinstatement. There's no clause in the Constitution about reinstatement. It is not something that happens in American democracy. Or in America at all. But I think what that really shows us is how these really fringe conspiracy theory ideas promulgated by Donald Trump have moved to the mainstream of the Republican Party. And I can tell you that I spent this week making a whole bunch of calls to Republicans running for Congress in the House and the Senate, largely challengers. And overwhelmingly, they all have questions about the election. They're all pushing for audits, like the kind of partisan effort we saw in Arizona. Even the ones who believe that Joe Biden was legitimately elected, which of course he was, will not say that publicly because they're worried about alienating the Republican voters that they need to win to be successful in a primary. So these conspiratorial ideas have taken over the party. And I think there still remains this faction of the Republican Party who believe that if they just ignore Donald Trump and sort of put their heads in the sand and don't talk about this stuff, he will go away and they will be able to focus on the midterms, on the type of issues they would like to focus the midterms on. Concerns about the economy and inflation, concerns about crime, concerns about how race is being taught in school, things like that are a little bit more policy-based, as you were alluding to. I think for anyone who's watched the past 6 years of American politics, it's really hard to see how that would happen. It's just not something we've seen for the party, and it's not something that a large portion of the party wants to talk about. They want to talk about Donald Trump, and they want to continue to relitigate 2020.